Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 8 of the Make It Rain podcast. We're making it great with number 8 alongside Anthony Collazo from the Hockey News. I'm Joe O'Regan. The Rain played 3 games this week. Let's do this. Here we go. To cover the awkward moment of silence, it's time to get maybe a little intro, maybe? Potentially?
Nah.
No?
I think we're good.
We're keeping it. And here we go. Might just be a trademark of mine in every intro at this point. Collazo, how are we?
Joe, everyone watching the pod, I'm doing good, man. We are recording this at 10:40 in the morning. This is the earliest that we've ever recorded a pod. I don't know what I like more, recording in the morning or recording after a game on Sunday and then coming home and then recording at night, or what I like worse. What I hate worse. Because I don't like waking up early in the morning. And then I also don't like, going to church and then going to the game and then coming home and doing the pod and then doing homework right after. You know what I'm saying?
And then ending up completely gassed when we do this.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I end up tired. Well, I'm tired right now.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you get a rejuvenated Anthony Collazo for this episode. Congratulations. Hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
With that being said, let's get into LA Kings news, of course. Let's state the obvious first. Eric Portillo and Jacob Moverare, I don't know if it's on an emergency cases, but they're both with the Los Angeles Kings right now.
Kind of a shocker. I don't think I expected Eric Portillo, or any Kings fans for that matter, to see Portillo up this season. Even though Copley hasn't played the best as of late, like in the previous weeks, I think Kings fans still expected, he has the NHL experience. He was a formidable NHL goalie for a while.
Yeah.
And I think everyone thought to see Copley up when Kemper got hurt. So when Portillo got the call, it was kind of shocking.
Yeah, I got the news during practice on Friday, and I looked, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, Phoenix Copley is down here. Like, you could have called him up. You had it. You, had it there.
And I think that gives me, a little bit of, a sense that Copley is going to be maybe a full-time Reign player at least this season before, he hits waivers probably next season and stuff, which is unfortunate. You hate to see that happen to a guy.
Well, of course you hate to see it happen to him, but now this makes Phoenix Copley potentially a mentor to the goaltenders the Reign have. Eric Portillo, Jacob Ingham, whoever comes up, in the rare case, maybe Dryden McKay. So, hey, I'll take it. If Phoenix Copley could stay sharp this year, look out. The Ontario Reign might be something.
Yeah, I think Copley needs to turn it around, and, maybe this week he did. But Portillo, I think the biggest thing that scares Kings fans right now is that obviously people like me and people like Kyle Garcia of Hockey Royalty and stuff is that his rebound control is not good.
Yeah.
That's his key issue, is that every shot that goes to him, low, the ball,
kick.
Yeah, the puck's bouncing off his pads.
Yes.
So I think if he can control that, he's going to be a really good NHL goalie. But right now, we'll see what happens. I think he's going to play Wednesday against the Avalanche.
I believe it is Colorado, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, man.
We will see what happens. Andre Lee down to the Ontario Reign on a conditioning loan. Or, no, just not even conditioning, just on loan, period.
I'm excited to see him.
Long overdue. Hopefully he's going to slide into the third or fourth line, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I think when Hellenius comes back down as well, I really want to see it's probably not going to happen because there's 2 centers, but a Lawrence, Hellenius, Lee line. I think that would be really fun to watch. It was just 3 big guys on the ice, one line, who can also score. Those 3 guys can definitely score.
Andre Lee can definitely score at the AHL level. Samuel Hellenius can also score at the AHL level.
Yeah.
Caleb Lawrence, we'll get into it, but Friday had a tip-in goal for his first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff happened. 3 games to cover. This episode is brought to you by Gowdy Law. We all know having a game plan is key, but when it comes to your family's future, are you ready? Gowdy Law is here to help, specializing in estate planning. Gowdy Law ensures your loved ones are protected from losing a ton of money and time to probate when you pass away. Just like on the ice, preparation matters. Don't wait until the last minute to make the right play. Visit GaudyLaw.com today to start planning for the future. Get estate planning pricing and a free consultation right on their website. It's that simple. The price is right on their website. Gowdy Law. Making estate planning easy, understandable, and affordable. The link is in the description.
Do you think that this guy uses Gowdy Law? 100% uses Gowdy Law.
He'd have to.
He has to. It's the best deal in town.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has to.
And the funny thing is, I mean, like, he probably gets hurt a lot, too.
He probably does get hurt a lot, man.
So for the people that don't know, that thing falls down, I swear, after every episode. Like we keep putting tape on it to try and keep it up there, but after the 50-minute marker hits, boom, down he goes.
Yeah, we got to make sure it stays up.
Hopefully it does. If you need to go back and stick it on there, you can. So with that being said, a little bit of a change up today. I'm going to get 2 games. He's going to get one of the Rain Rapid recap. So with that being said, let's go into the first one, Wednesday night. Wednesday night matchup in the Inland Empire. The Ontario Reign looked to run the Tucson Roadrunners right out of Ontario. Things got going very quick for the good guys as Francesco Pinelli puts up his second goal of the year, going backhand top shelf on Stauber to put the Reign up 1. 2 minutes later, Jacob Dvorak tries to clear a whack at the puck, completely whiffs on it, and Hunter Drew hunts it down and then hunts himself a goal, tying it up at 1. In the second, the Godfather, Glenn Gaudin, puts the Reign ahead, and they don't look back. In the third, on the power play, Riley Walsh. Ow! He puts the Reign up 3-1, and then the Godfather, with his second of the night, seals it with a 180-foot, basically wrister down the line. The Ontario Reign take care of business in the middle of the week and win this one by the final of 4-1. The Ontario Reign owned that game. Completely owned it.
They played it really well. I wouldn't say own. The first period was a little bit sloppy.
It was fine.
Dvorak made that play that led to a goal and stuff. Can't happen. But after that, man, they played well. And again, this was a game where they didn't completely dominate, but it's like you kind of said, they owned that game. They never really, once they got the lead, they never showed any signs of losing the lead. And again, their best players are best playering. And
yay, final. And
after the first few games, Stern was like, yeah, they got to start playing better. Our best players have to be our best players. And now they're being the best players. Glenn Gaudin gets a goal in the second period, assisted Jeff Malott. Jeff Malott has been really good. He hasn't been on the goal sheet a lot, but as far as score sheet with the assist, he's been fine.
He leads the Ontario Reign in assists. Kyle Garcia from the Hockey Royalty and I were talking about this a little bit on Saturday night. When the Kings signed Jeff Malott, you expected that guy to be the scorer. Or no. Yeah, no, I had that right. You would expect that guy to be the scorer, and you expected Glenn Gaudin to be dishing the puck to people.
Yeah.
It turns out it's a complete role reversal. Glenn Gaudin's got 4 goals on the year. Jeff Malott, as of this game, has 8 assists on the year and 1 goal. I don't know, but Jeff Malott is doing his best TJ Tyen impression from last year. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he's playing really well. Third period, Riley Walsh, goal, assisted Charles Hudon, Glenn Gaudin. Gaudin has been everything as advertised so far for the Reign. And I think Stern was talking about it a little bit when the season first started, hey, these new guys have to get used to a system. It's not easy when you come in, and there's a lot of young guys too. So Gaudin is playing like how he did with the goals. Malott has been playing like he did with the Canucks, or not the Canucks.
Jets, Manitoba Moose.
Jets. And then Stunica, man. I think Stunica is probably the best skater and overall player on the Reign this year. He has been magnificent, and he didn't get on the score sheet in this game, but he's everywhere on the ice.
Yeah.
He's
he looks really good.
Yeah. Very noticeable.
And he makes that power play 2 unit really move, because that's the one thing that the Reign really struggled on last year. That power play 2 unit was pretty dang close to non-existent last year.
Yep.
Jack Studenica, amongst other friends, helping getting that whole rush going, because I think Joe Hicketts is also on the PP2 unit.
Yeah.
Who's on the PP1? Is it Riley Walsh? Right now, I think it is Riley Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh it is. I think they switch off a lot, though. Hicketts, you'll see Hicketts on the power play 1 sometimes and stuff.
Marco Sturm is not afraid to change lines up. We saw it a lot this week. We're seeing unusual, if that's the correct answer, unusual line rushes, out of the defense especially. Like Cole Krieger and Joe Hickett's on a line on Saturday. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, he has some weird defensive pairings, and he's been switching it up a lot, especially with Hickett. I don't think Hickett has had a consistent pairing all season. That's got to be hard on Hickett's too, so that's something to keep an eye on moving down the future. Tucson, 0 for 3 on the power play. This has become a consistent look for the Reign where they are perfect on the penalty kill a lot. And you're going to see it in the next Reign Rapid recap. Maybe not on Saturday's game, but at least for Friday's game against the Eagles, they went 5 for 5 on the penalty kill. So they've been really good.
Yep.
I don't know who runs their penalty kill, but he needs a raise.
I believe it is Brad Schuler.
Is it?
I believe it is Schuler. I don't want to get that out there because it could be Chris Height. It could also be a committee thing where everyone chips into it. So, depending on what it is. One more thing, Eric Portillo, 23 for 24. Very solid game. And truthfully, if Jacob Dvorak doesn't turn that puck over, he has a shutout. No questions asked. I don't want this hypothetical, woulda, coulda, should. No. He would have had a shutout, period. He looked about as good as Eric Portillo was going to get Wednesday night.
And you cannot move on from this game without talking about how the Roadrunners were just playing loser hockey at the last minute.
Boy.
Like
the third period, they had like the demeanor of a middle school football team almost.
Yeah, it's like, if you cannot beat them, then just fight them. Really, it was a weird scene from a bunch of grown men. It's like, come on, man. I mean, that last minute of the game lasted like 10. I was like, come on, man. Get the game over with.
If not longer. I mean, one more thing. Onyebuchi, you're 0-3 against Jacob Doty now, buddy. You're 0-3.
Doty was really mad when the referees got in the way.
Oh, my goodness. He had all rights to be mad.
He was pissed.
He was not happy. And I guarantee you something happened because did he play Friday?
Yeah.
He did play Friday. Okay. Yeah, Saturday, Jacob Doty was a scratch. Don't know if it was injury related or not. And honestly, I don't want to see any more Reign players going down with injuries. Taylor Ward hasn't been in the lineup since last Friday. Jacob Doty was not in the lineup on Saturday.
He played.
No, Saturday. No, Saturday he was a late scratch.
Oh, really?
He was a late scratch after warmups.
Huh.
They rocked 7 defensemen because go back to it. Go show more. Yeah. Jack Millar's not on there. Jack Millar ended up playing in that game. Yeah. So, bit of extra stuff going on. We'll see what happens. With that being said, you want to get into Friday's game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. Reign Rapid recap. Friday at Blue Arena, home of the Cowbells and the Colorado Eagles. Go.
The Ontario Reign head to the city of Loveland to take on the Colorado Eagles in the sold-out Blue Arena. We had an interesting first period. 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the first period, Neil Shea scored a tap-in that was waved off, hit the back of the net, came off really hard. I guess the referee saw that it hit the post or something. I don't know what they saw. But it was waved off, and play did not stop until 2 minutes later when Francesco Pinelli scored. Now, obviously, it was a goal for the Eagles, so the Eagles challenged it. Easy goal, hit the back of the net. So instead of it being 1-0 Reign, it was 1-0 Cowbells. Very, very unfortunate for the Reign. But you know what they say, puck don't lie. As less than a minute later, cue that music. Oh, Riley Wash. Ow! He scored on the man advantage to tie the game up at 1. Chris Wagner in the second period would put the Cowbells out in front with a shot from the half wall. But fear not, because the 6'7", 230-pound monster Caleb Lawrence comes out from underneath their kid's bed with a tip-in, tying the game at 2. Cue the line. Tyler Madden is in the game. 3-2 Ontario Reign. Oh my God, and there goes that man again. He scored on a breakaway to make it 4-2. Jacob had a McDonald's cheeseburger to cut the lead to 1, but it's all for naught, as although the Eagles had a valiant effort in the last 2 minutes, Samuel Fagimo would ice the game 5-3, the final.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ontario Reign, with that, have won the week. I'm going to start using that a lot because the Ontario Reign need to start winning the week That is something that's going to add up wins. It's going to get them in the playoffs. It's going to get them a good spot in the playoffs. You can't expect them to go undefeated every single game. We're going to break this down because we go weekly podcasts, week by week by week by week by week. The Ontario Reign lost last week, going 1-2, losing both games, of course, to the Firebirds. This week, they had 3 games, and they've already won 2 of them. Secure that. The Reign are back to 500. It's 6-6 after this game. It almost seems like everything's going right because playing in Loveland is so hard. Cowbells, annoying fans. Here I go. The public address announcer does not know when to stop talking. He has 0 guardrails, and you're playing a mile high. Holy smokes.
I think playing a mile high is one of the things that, is one of the effects of why it's so hard to play there. I'm looking for a stat right now. I forgot exactly what it was. I think it went too high here. I don't know if you remember the stat.
What would it be?
It was like they have lost like 8 of the last 11 in Blue Arena.
Really?
Or something like that. Yeah, it was something like crazy like that.
The Ontario Reign have a hard time playing in Blue Arena. We don't even need a stat for that. We could just say that from our hearts because we already know the truth.
Yeah, it's not good in Blue Arena. So the fact that, okay, it's right here. They lost 11 of the last 15 in Blue Arena.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so they don't play good up there, mile high, like he said. And it's just annoying, man. Like the Cowbells, first of all, Eagles fans showed up Friday night.
No doubt.
They showed up in Loveland. It was a sold out crowd apparently. And it was just Cowbells galore. Just ringing, and it was annoying on the broadcast.
Yeah, you were watching it. I was listening to it. I definitely got the worst of that exchange because I could barely hear Shaffron and Capistran at times, maybe getting into something or two, like breaking down a play because I don't get the visual look at it, and all you hear is just cowbells everywhere. Like, dude, chill.
And I feel like there's got to be some type of regulation when it comes to that. Like, it's not an enjoyable viewing experience when you just hear cowbells all over the place.
Yeah,
it's one thing to be loud for your team, right? That's one thing I respect Firebirds fans for. Maybe you don't as much, but like they're loud, but they're not super annoying with like some extra stuff, The Cowbells, man, like all their noise was just that cowbell going through the arena. It was so annoying. It gave me a headache.
Yeah.
Watching the game. Never watching an Eagles game outside of the Reign ever. Just for that reason.
That would be pretty annoying, right?
Gosh.
I mean, I don't know if it's farm country up there, but it sure sounded like it. But I'm going to go back to the Firebirds things. The Firebirds have natural noise. They use the fans as noise.
Yeah.
That is just a load of artificial noise, and artificial noise is a mess, I swear.
This game started off kind of funny. It was a big deal. TJ Tynan was, he's not even the captain, but he took the opening, the ceremony of puck drop.
Yep.
Just because, the Reign is the old team, old captain. Joe Hickett and Tynan had a moment before the game. And on the opening shift, like 5 seconds in, Tynan breakaway. And it's like, oh, this is going to be, this is storybook, right?
Here we go again.
Copley makes a good save, which he played really good in this game. And yeah, man, again, the penalty kill, 5 for 5 in this game, played really well. There was also a funny moment back to TJ Tynan where he was in the faceoff circle with Pinelli, and Tynan gets kicked out. And Tynan backs out, and then Pinelli is like staring at him, kind of like laughing in his face, like
I don't know if it's like a moment because last year, for all we know, TJ Tynan could have probably been teaching Francesco Pinelli how to take draws, and then Tynan gets booted from the circle. And Pinelli's like, "Dang, that used to be my teacher."
Yeah, yeah. For all we know, it
could have been that.
Yeah. So it was a nice little moment there.
Absolutely. So Tyler Madden picked up a goal. Phoenix Copley, I almost just said Copley again. Phoenix Copley stood on his head, 35 for 38. That is a .921 save percentage. Is Phoenix Copley, here I go again with this saying, is Phoenix Copley turning a corner?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. He still let up a really bad one in this game from the half wall where
it really had no business going in.
Yeah, Wagner just kind of turned around from the half wall, kind of flicked it on net, somehow got past.
Very relatable almost to the Ville Otavinen goal last Sunday against Coachella Valley. So Obviously, a goal he would like to have back. It's almost like if you're playing Shell and you're on your phone and you look up and you're completely out of place. Like, can't do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not calling you out in any way because he's usually our goalie in Shell. So, obviously, it's a goal you want back.
Yeah.
Duh. Of course. Now let's get to the good in this game. The Ontario Reign went 5 for 5 on the penalty kill, extending it to killing their last 11 or 12 penalties. It was something down that line.
Yeah.
They looked really good in the penalty kill department. Once again, oh, wow. Funny how I just brought this up. Suffocating the neutral zone. Mm-hmm. They did it.
Yeah, they were playing more aggressive in the neutral zone, not skating so far back. Maybe they listen to the podcast.
It's almost coincidental.
Maybe Sturm is a podcast watcher, you know?
Maybe it's coincidental at this point. Like, I'm not saying anything, but it might just be a coincidence.
I don't think we're going to talk about this guy later, but I want to give some flowers to Angus Booth.
Yeah.
An assist in this game. That's his 4th assist of the year, and he has played really well for the Reign, and he's not the most noticeable guy on the ice. But he said in the first game of the season, in the post game, if I'm not noticeable, that's probably a good thing because I'm probably doing my job. I mean, high IQ player. He does everything that you want. You know, if you're on the penalty kill and he gets the puck, he's not going to do too much. He's going to flip it out of the zone, and you know that's that. High IQ, doesn't do too much. Good fundamentals. You know, I think right after the Dvorak mishap in Game 1 against Tucson, I think Booth had one right after where it was like a similar play. And what does he do?
Gets down and bodies it up.
He gets down and he puts his hand out like he's an infielder in baseball, and you know, he taps it down the ice.
Yeah.
Whereas Dvorak, you know, he tried to play with the stick, and it got passed, and it wasn't a good play.
It's really hard to do that too.
So it's like those little things that Angus Booth does that makes him so effective on the ice, and that's why Sturm said that when they had a team vote on who was the player of October, it was Booth.
Yeah. Very well deserving of that. Angus Booth finishes checks, plays very good as a defenseman in all 3 zones, does his job. And once again, if he's like a ghost out there, or if he's not noticeable, he's probably doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's the sign of a defensive defenseman. Like, and that is what Angus Booth is. Angus Booth's not going to light up the scorecard. He's not going to make these flashy plays. He's going to be fundamental. He's going to make stuff happen. And he could potentially just be an outlet for line 1, line 2, line 3, or line 4. Getting up the ice and scoring, and then next thing you know, he gets the secondary assist, and that's how he ends up on the score sheet half the time. So the Ontario Reign moving to 6-6, of course, after I just said that. So, hey, I'm going to just say this. The Colorado Eagles came really close to coming back.
They did, yeah. Those last 2 minutes, I mean, it was a really good effort from the Eagles, and again, like Stunica diving around on the ice, blocking shots. Joe Hickett had a really big sliding block.
Saved the game-tying goal.
Yeah, because Tynan, it was a tight angle, but from what it looked like on the replay, he had the angle.
It was a wide open net.
Yeah, and Hickett comes sliding in into second base, head first, makes a nice little stop.
Yep.
And that's what it takes to win these type of games. You need everyone on the ice doing stuff like that. It was a good team win. It was a good team morale win, and I think Paige Capistran on the broadcast said it best. That a win like that builds team chemistry.
Yes,
where you're in the locker room after, and everyone contributed, everyone did their job, and that's why you win a tough game like that because everyone did what they're supposed to do.
It was a 20-man effort.
Yeah,
more specifically, probably a 19-man effort because 20 counting the backup goalie. But that's besides the point. Everyone did their part Friday night. They made it happen, and that's how the Ontario Reign win games.
Yeah.
You need a full effort. You can't, I mean, unless some player heads, I'm going to just go hypothetical here and just say Samuel Fagimo goes and scores 5 goals or something in a game, which, love you, Sammy, but not going to happen probably. Mm-hmm. You need a full effort to win a hockey game like that.
100%.
And the Ontario Reign did just that. Joe Hickett's flopping like a fish, blocking shots. And I mean, let's just get this straight. Your captain, my captain, by the way, blocking shots. Does that not fire the bench up, you'd think?
Oh, it 100% does.
Like, that is contagious. And that is like, and once again, the little things is what wins you those games. Blocking shots, not as little of a thing, but it gets everyone going. Like, that's big time. Like, I'm willing to lay out on the line to help my team win. It's like in baseball, somebody bodying up a ball or somebody diving, keeping in the infield, saving a run. Like, blocking shots wins you games sometimes, and we don't realize it. It also can get guys hurt. So that's the trade-off with it.
Yeah, especially with the captains of the team. I remember playing travel ball with kind of like a prima donna from high school, and we were playing our first travel ball game in the summer before my senior year, and he scores from second base, scores on a base hit, and he hits home plate to tie the game up. And I think in travel ball, it's more of like it's like a yourself thing. You're trying to get recruited in summer ball. Like a team isn't really like, it's kind of like second thought. But when he hit home plate, he got really hyped up because we tied the game up. And I think that kind of fired everyone else up. Like, okay, like we're trying to win. We're trying to win the game. It's not about you or me for myself or anything like that, which, again, travel ball kind of is that. But he got hyped up, and the team got going, and we ended up winning the game based off his reaction, tying the game up. And so when you see Hickett's blocking shots, it makes everyone else want to block shots. It makes everyone else want to be that guy to help a team win.
Yep.
So it's really important that he did that, and I think that's going to really carry into the following games.
Shout out the captain setting the example. With that, want to get into Saturday night?
Yep, let's do it.
The final Rain Rapid recap of the week. After the Rain's triumph on Friday night, they look to sweep the 2-game set against the Colorado Eagles. 16 seconds in, Luke Rowe, of all people, drops the glove with Devontae Stevens, getting the cowbell faithful going as Stevens goes a little here, pump the crowd up. And then, what a coincidence, 20 seconds later, Ty Fellhaber puts one past Ingham to make it 1-0 Eagles. In the second, a great zone entry setup, and Riley Walsh. Ow! That was a good ow right there. He scores his third goal in as many games, and we are knotted up at 1. In the words of Magic School Bus, please let this be a normal hockey game. With the Rain? No way! Aw. So, Jake Wise, old friend who was with the Ontario Reign during training camp, Jacob McDonald on the power play, and Jack Ashawn all score to make it 4-1 Eagles. But a turnover in the slot late in the second leaves Angus Booth with his first professional goal to make it 4-2 heading into the intermission. The 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the Godfather scoring again. The Rain made it 4-3 with a Glenn Gaudin goal, his 6th on the year. And then Sean is in his element as 18 seconds later, he ties it up at 4. Can the Rain potentially get 1 point out of this great effort tonight? No! Devontae Stevens puts the Eagles ahead, and then old friend Jake Wise scores an empty netter, and the Colorado Eagles take this one by the final 6-4. So, with that being said, Rain are back under 500, blah. So what? TJ Tynan had 3 assists against the Rain, so that was just great to watch. It's like we're so used to seeing that.
Yeah, it was. It definitely doesn't feel great when he does it on the opposite side.
Oh, no doubt.
Not at all.
Nope.
Tynan has always been that guy. He's an assist merchant. He's not going to light up the goal sheet, but he's going to light up the score sheet. Does it every year. I think one year he even had like 98 points, like a few years ago. Something crazy like that. I was looking at it the other day.
Hint, he won the MVP that year.
Did he really?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. That is crazy. And then the following year, put up 85 points, like casually.
Oh yeah, he won the MVP again that year too.
It's almost like last year. He put up like close to 70 points. I think it was like 66, 65, something
66.
like that. And like it was like a down year for him.
Yeah.
Weird. Like that's crazy.
9 goals in cranking numbers in my head, doing the trigonometry.
I forgot what it was.
Is it 9 goals and 57 assists for?
It was
66,
something crazy like that.
Yeah, 66 points. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, I mean, how many assists did he have in those years prior? He probably had way more than 56 assists, you'd think.
Yes.
Or 57 assists, excuse me.
I'll look it up right now.
So, going back into Saturday's game, the Rain, this obviously isn't going to get showed really on the scorecard, but the Rain were atrocious. I don't even know what else to say. They were not good from the face-off circle. Something Marco Sturm has really been on since the start of the year. Like, we want our guys winning draws and whatnot. The Rain went 19 for 56 from the face-off circle. For the people at home, that's 34%. you want to at least be winning half the draws.
That's really uncharacteristic for the Reign too.
Yes.
They're usually very sound in the faceoff circle. So to see a game that they did not play well or do well inside the dot, it's unfortunate, but it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, you get your blips in the radar. That's going to happen. It's part of the game, and it's not going to really change. So, I mean, the Reign got a couple of gifts from this game. They just happened to capitalize on it. So the Angus Booth goal was a turnover, just ended up right in the middle, and he goes, bam, right over the glove of Kevin Mandalese. Got it right. So Angus Booth will take it how he wants it. It's his first professional goal after all. However, I want to get to this point because not everything can be sunshine and rainbows. The Reign were hemmed in their own end for at least half the game.
Yeah, before we go into that, I just want to say Tynan had 84 assists and 14 goals when he put up 98 points. And then had 73 assists the following year, put up 81, and then 57, put up 66.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Reign have this habit sometimes of they play really passive, and I think that's a system thing more than a Sturm Reign thing.
Yeah.
They're not a really aggressive team, and I think that's just the way the system works, how they're built at the Kings level, where they don't have a lot of shooters and playmakers. They have a lot of guys who play good in the back end, which is why they make the playoffs every year, but they don't do anything because they can't score in the playoffs. So I guess, when they were hemmed in their own end like that, I mean, they almost came back. They scored 4 goals still.
That's true.
So
They could have very easily rolled over in this one when they went down 4-1. And Marco Sturm and the rest of the squad could have just mailed it in. And the final score tonight could have very easily been, 8-1, 9-1. Because Jacob Ingham was standing on his head in the third period. He looked really good. And I'm pretty sure he brought it up from Saturday's game at some point. He's like, can the Reign just score because Jacob Ingham is standing on his head?
Yeah. Colorado had 31 total shots, 11, 10, and 10. So that's a consistent output of, of shots and play from the Eagles.
The Reign went 8, 6, and 12 for a game total of 26. So didn't do jack in the first period, didn't do very much more in the second period. And then in the third period, they realized, we're down 2 goals. Let's start shooting the puck. Yeah. Now, in the second period, I will bring this up a little bit. They had a bunch of shots that died in traffic.
Yeah.
There were, if we had shot attempts at the AHL level, I guarantee you the Reign would have led in that department by a very substantial margin.
Yeah, I agree.
So, the Ontario Reign unfortunately dropped that game. Realistically, they had a shot at winning that game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Tied it up late, man. Tied it up late.
They didn't tie it up late. There was 16 minutes left in the third when it happened. But regardless, giving up a goal, of course, to Devontae Stevens, the guy that fought Luke Rowe at the start of the game 16 seconds in. I mean, goodness. Let me also get to this. Penalties-wise, there were... that game had a lot of stoppages for icings and whatnot. There were... infractions-wise, there were 3 infraction penalties that resulted in power plays. You had a Caleb Lawrence slash, a Jacob McDonald trip, and a Jack Studnicka check to the head. And Jack Studnicka's check to the head, I thought it was a clean hit, honestly. Refs and fans think otherwise. We got that part.
You know what's funny is that the Reign had almost a half hour in penalty minutes. Yet, both teams on the box score has a combined 3 power plays, which just shows that how many penalties they were, where it was 1 penalty happened and then another penalty was right after it. Because three power plays and there was 29 plus 17, 30 plus 17.
46 or 47.
Yeah, 46 minutes of penalty minutes, and there was only 3 power plays. That's kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
So let's get into the penalty minutes. So you have Luke Rowe, 5 minutes for fighting. You've got Caleb Lawrence, 2 minutes for slashing. Jack Studnicka, 2 minutes for check to the head. That's 9 penalty minutes. And now we're at 29 because 18 seconds left in the game. Angus Booth and Caleb Lawrence both get misconducts for acting quote unquote stupid at times. The one thing we were harping on Tucson about kind of turned into the Reign on Saturday night. There are a lot of hits though being thrown. The Jacob McDonald, it says tripping. I thought that was going to be 5 minutes for intent to injure because he went knee to knee on Atu Yamson.
Yeah.
Or hip to knee or something like that. it was nice to see Yamson get back out. And it was kind of a sigh of relief because the Reign realistically can't afford any more injuries because we don't know what's happened with Doty. We don't know what's happened with Ward. Well, Ward's probably hurt. Like, let's just get that straight.
Yeah.
Like, the Reign at this point are going to have to start calling people up from Greenville at that point, and we kind of don't need to see that happen.
We have guys. We still have, like, John Parker Jones playing or, like, not playing and stuff. So,
yeah.
There's still some guys, but, yeah, I agree with you. I think a couple more injuries. So unlikely after all the injuries that they've already suffered with Doty, probably, and then Ward. But if a couple more go down, man, we probably see some guys from Greenville. We probably see, like, if a defenseman gets hurt, like a Savoy or Savoy.
Carter.
Burge. Well, they're all defensemen.
Parker Burge, yeah.
Yeah.
We're just naming defensemen over here. Like, we've already got Caleb Lawrence from there.
Yeah.
And I think Caleb Lawrence should stay in the AHL, but not my decision.
I don't mind how he's playing so far.
Yeah, neither do I. And I hope he stays up here for as long as he can. Obviously, we're not the ones to get through that. Let's just get out of this game. The Reign lost. That's all you need to know. It would have been nice to get a sweep. Didn't happen. So what? They got 3 days to recover, and then they take on the Henderson Silver Knights this coming Wednesday. So with that, let's get into the Reign weather report brought to you by Reign. You got the 100%. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Glenn Godden.
Yep.
Yeah, he 4 goals, 2 assists this week in 3 games. He was spectacular. Yeah, he was awesome. Like, we didn't really see him score too much earlier, and it's still early in the season, but the first 12th of the season, if you want to say that. And yeah, man, he played awesome. I think his best game was the Tucson game, I believe.
Yeah, put up 2 goals that game.
2 goals, 1 assist.
Yep.
And then continued it on Friday in Loveland, and even on Saturday a little bit.
Yeah.
Again in Loveland. So Glenn Godden is my 100%. He's good inside the circle, although that he wasn't great in that game where everyone wasn't great.
Yeah. What was it, 7 for 17 or 7 for 18 or something like that?
Yeah, against Colorado on Friday night, 9 for 18. That's 50%. 50% again against Tucson. And then if you go down the line, he didn't do well against the Firebirds in Coachella Valley, 12 for 23, 12 for 26. So look when Godden's not good inside the circle, the Reign aren't good either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, he's kind of the X factor in that way where when he's inside the circle, you need to win faceoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I love how we're like changing the X factor term because now like Glenn Godden was the X factor this week. Last week it was Fagimo. And I mean, at the start of the year, I said it was Francesco Pinelli, but then again, the rosters weren't set. So,
but he played good this week too.
He did play good this week. I will give you that. I don't have him for 50%, but
who do you have?
I'm gonna give him his flowers there. 50%. This guy didn't really end up on the score sheet that much. He did have an assist Wednesday night. I think he had another assist Friday night. I'm giving him 50% just for blocking so many shots and acting like a captain, hence it being Joe Hicketts. So, Joe Hicketts, we kind of already brought this up Friday, blocking shots, doing his thing. It works.
Yeah.
It works. And the whole team feeds off of that. And I personally think his block shot Friday is the reason why the Reign won. If you don't like it, go argue with a tree or a wall because you're wrong. Straight up. I'm going to give Joe Higgins his credit. I also want to give Riley Walsh a little bit of credit. So can I two-man the 50%? Yeah, Riley Walsh, 3 goals. You heard the jingle 3 times in the Reign Rapid recaps. So Riley Walsh turning a corner? Is he turning into the potential offensive defenseman this year that we saw from Brant Clark last year?
Hopefully, man. I mean, he really started the year really slow, man. Yeah. I was like, man, this guy is not great.
Not great.
3 goals and assist this week. He played well. And I think on the power play, he's a big threat. He's like Clark in that way. Like you said, it's like he's kind of he throws shots up the way Clark used to do. Just
throws it at the net. And sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. Like Wednesday's goal, he threw it in. It got tipped in. It got tipped in by a Tucson player, hilariously enough. So, hey, you'll take it how you can get him, right? Because that was not a clean shot. That was tipped and it went high and landed high and beat Stauber. So, hey, we'll take the goal any way you want it. Also, just a side note on Wednesday's game, I really wanted to see Matty V. So, Matty V was the first guy out for warmups. So we're automatically thinking, oh, Villalta's going to start.
And then it was Stauber.
Nope. Going to keep you on your toes and put Anthony Stauber in the net. So
Chris? What's his name? I don't think it's Anthony Stauber, is it?
no, it might. I don't think it is. Hold on. We're looking here as I continue. So Riley Walsh looked great. Joe Hicketts looked great. That's a testament to the defensive group and how much the Reign are growing. Is it Jackson Stauber? Holy
Jackson
smoke.
Stauber? No. I don't remember being Jackson.
No, it is Jackson Stauber. Holy smokes.
He's old.
I was thinking of a different person then, I guess. Besides the point, who do you have at 0%?
I think I'm going to go with Jacob Dvorak. He had some bad sequences this week. Costed us a goal. Costed the Reign a goal in the game versus Tucson, which ended up being the only goal of the game.
Yep.
You know, I don't think he's been bad with the Reign so far this season, but I think when it comes to fundamentals, everything Angus Booth does right, this week Dvorak did wrong. You know what I'm saying?
At least this week.
Everything Booth did right, Dvorak did wrong.
Yeah. Shout out Kyle Garcia from Hockey Royalty. We've shouted him out probably 3 times this episode because he is the notorious Jacob Dvorak hater. And I can actually get behind him this week on this one because he fanned on a puck in the neutral zone. And there's Hunter Drew. Goal. Except there's no horn. It's not in Tucson. And then he did it again. Did he do it again on Friday night too?
I think he had like a bad sequence where it was like similar to it. Like it wasn't great.
So Jacob Dvorak gets the 0%, and then Saturday he did turn the puck over on the power play. Like, once again, I'm kind of reiterating stuff I said at the beginning of the year. Whack the puck out the zone. Give it a whack. If they stop it, so what? Go play defense then. But when you're handing your own end and you're like struggling to get to pucks because you're tired out there,
yeah.
Like, you got to just try to whack at the puck, get it down the ice, try to catch a breather for icing, and hopefully win a draw. So,
he's only 19.
Yeah.
So,
give him a little bit of a break because obviously a learning curve is meant to be sometimes.
Yeah.
So, we'll let him learn, and that's it. So, recapping the weather report, Glenn Gaudin's first star of the week at the 100% marker with 6 points and 4 goals. Joe Hicketts, Riley Walsh at the 50% margin. Jacob Dvorak at the 0% margin. Looking into next week, the Ontario Reign head back to Lee Family Forum Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And then Saturday night,
goals suck. Goals suck.
Goals suck. Yep, they're in Pechanga Arena Saturday night at 6 p.m. With that being said, thank you very much for watching episode 8 of the Make It Rain podcast. He's Anthony Collazo from the Hockey News. I'm Joe O'Regan. Have a good week. As per usual, we'll see you next Monday at 1 p.m.